Southampton are struggling. The Saints found themselves really struggling this season with Hassenhutl and Nathan Jones both not working out. Pretty funny how Nathan Jones went down. However, at the time of filming, they've just beaten Chelsea 1-0 and have appointed Ruben Sellers as their permanent manager till the end of the season. The fact he's only got it till the end of the year shows Southampton don't really know where they're gonna be come the end of it. As here we are again, guys, today trying to rebuild the Saints and move them up a little bit in the world. You might think, Max, why are you starting on this menu? That's because, no offense to Ruben Sellers, but I need a new manager in Southampton. We're gonna start afresh. Of course, we're not gonna be looking around the Premier League to try and find a decent one, despite Jesse Marsch's links to the club. Looks like the French manager and German would just be a little too high. Probably all the Italians as well. Sergio Conceião's a decent shout on Moreno in Liga NOS. But it's a different Portuguese I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna get Nuno Espirito Santo back to the Premier League. If you don't know this man, he was at Tottenham. He was at Wolves building a dynasty. Now he's gonna try and do the same at the Saints. He's already here at the South Coast. He's popped around the corner. There he is. Doesn't really look much like him, but he's got the Saints shirt in his hand, ready for this challenge. Got to make this team that we see on screen a really good one again, and of course the aim, as always, is to win the Champions League. This is what I've managed to build to start off with. We've got some decent youngsters like Alcaraz at 19-year-old. We've got Kyle Walker-Peters, Suleimana, I'm a big fan of at 20. Bazunu on the bench though, Bella Kotchap, even Edoze Maria Livramento in the reserves. I think this first season's about getting a lot of loan deals through. 42 players in this big squad. I mean, all the ones out on loan look like they should be out on loan, and I have loan listed a lot of ours. And 45 million should be enough for Nuno. Go on. Good money. No one in the academy, however, straight away we haven't got our young star. And the board want 3 young players, which is a high priority. They want a midfielder. They want a mid-table finish. Don't demand much, do you? And we lose our first player. It's the ex-Arsenal man, Theo Walcott, all the way to Salernitana. Or Salernitana. That's what I'm talking about. $1 million for him. Kinda washed. And Don Ballard goes on a loan to buy one of our younger players, allowing us room for our first signing here under Nuno Espirito Santo. Might be able to tell already. Curtis Jones, that's right. Curtis Jones. It's the reverse of us being a selling club to Liverpool, and we have stole the Liverpool rotatee. Cost us around about 15 million to add him straight away. Really good deal. And we begin our adventure off with Duje Kaletaka getting a torn groin injury. Oh, I love it. Dino Livramento has a loan deal. The only thing is, it is to Manchester United. Wan-Bissaka must be going downhill. And Romeo Lavia going out on loan to Lille. All of his youngsters going to very decent clubs. With Samuel Edoze also following him. No idea why Southampton signed him for a first teamer, along with Mara, who leaves the club as well. With even Armel Bella Kotchap getting a loan deal to Empoli over in Italy. I mean, I'm letting go of a lot of good youngsters, but I feel like they all do need a loan first. And we have a goalkeeper signed up as well. He's walking through the doors here at the St. Mary's training ground. No idea what it's called. There's no idea I'm going to pronounce what he is called. Georgie's in goal. From Georgia. Let's leave it at that, shall we? You could also say we're going to leave it at that for the signings. I'm not too happy with Alcaraz actually starting in season number 1, so I might go Joel Aribo. And that is the team, Jones and Mamardashvili. They are the 2 additions. The next job for Nuno's men is to send all of these into this season and see how they're doing halfway through. As halfway through the seasons, the ratings are decent. We actually did get another youngster through in Lees. Also worth saying, I think Maitland-Niles has been called back. In the table, we're 14th though. Give us our due, because that is actually quite decent. We're so far away from relegation zone. I think it's 11 points off Leeds United with a game in hand. Knocked out in round 4 of the Carabao Cup, however, to Newcastle United. And I don't intend on calling anyone back just yet, but it's fair to say the ratings are going up on our loanees. Because at the club we've got 8 million I would like to carry that on to next year. I'll promote some youth in the meantime to build the squad numbers up. We'll promote a couple of them. Oh, I can't wait to get hand on Gabriel Fletcher coming through. And we've been simulating till the end of the season. Now, how are we doing? Okay, so it's a 14th place finish. We finished exactly where we were supposed to. 41 points on the board. That is more than enough. All we wanted to do was survive, as we didn't win the FA Cup, unfortunately. Southampton there. Where did we go out? 2-1 to Burnley. Not great. I mean, the team looks quite decent. We've got some promising players. Alcaraz on the bench has grown. Suleimana, Walker, Peters, Mamashvili, whose goals kept us up. Miroslav Orsic almost hit 20 for the entirety of the season. 17 in the Premier League with Onecho. Not even seen him play a game for Southampton, scoring 15. El Yunusi scoring 7 No, not 7, that's Ward-Prowse. El Yunusi scoring 11! Orsic was actually 11th highest in the table, beaten by a fellow Croatian Kramaric to 10th. No popping up on other stats, but a successful season number 1, which should lead into a successful number 2. Especially when we get the low knee players back. And we are back for season number 2 immediately. And yes, I do look like a Modern Warfare juggernaut, but we're going to look at the broad expectations. They want a midfielder or forward in a crucial position, and they want... Woo! They want us finishing in the Europa League. Lofty expectations, but with this team that's come on leaps and bounds, it's definitely possible. Some very decent ratings in here. The defense is getting a lot better, and I want to speak about this player on the bench. Livramento finished his loan at Man United, and I'm thinking, although Pero is a rating above, maybe could do a job at left back, or maybe I put Walker Peters over there. More complete. We've got so many players, because all the players have returned from loans. Some very good players. We've got Bella Kotchap, who's probably going to take the place on the bench. Lianco's even improved. Diallo and Gineppo. Nathan Teller, I am a big fan of in real life, but in FIFA, it unfortunately looks like it's not going to stretch to be the complete package. And after contracts are signed up, the boards give us 52 million, so Nuno Espirito Santo can continue to build the Saints team up. It's a good squad, but that can definitely be improved. And the board wanted that midfielder, so we've gone ahead and signed one. No. He won't be replacing Ward-Prowse, don't you worry. Baumgartner will be playing alongside him. He's made the move from Hoffenheim. If I've got his name right. Christoph Baumgartner, yes, I think it is pronounced that way. 27.8. That's not his age. That's the price tag we've paid for him. Slots straight into that cam position very well. Can play midfield. Can even play up front. As we've got another player joining him through the door as one leaves. I think this is Liz. Yes, Mateus Liz goes to Celtic Football Club. He gives us the money to get Joe Willock from Newcastle. Just a player that I think won't really excel there now they've got the big Saudi takeover. So he's coming right down to the coast. Yes, we do have Curtis Jones, but he might just be straight away replaced. I'm not going to make the change just yet. Suleiman and now the lowest rated. Showing you how far we've come. Stuart Armstrong has also left the club as well. He's picked Wolfsburg for 8 million, a very decent price tag for a 31-year-old. And halfway through the season, we are 13th, but looks like I didn't record some of this. So, strap in and get ready for this story. Kyle Walker-Peters left us to go to Atletico Madrid for 40 million, going to play his football over in Spain, with Nathan Teller joining in his footsteps, and Che Adams. All that money allowed us to sign some new players. The outgoings didn't stop there, with a couple of loanees and Miroslav Orsic in a swap deal. That one for Alex Moreno from Villa. Yes, he was our top scorer, but he's easily replaceable as we signed El Nasiri to break the Saints bank up front, with Jones leaving as well in a swap deal for Pasalic wanting out, and that is where the business goes up to today. 19 million still in the bank, however, and there the ratings going into the second half of the season. Can these Saints boys keep it up? Has come the end of it all. With the addition of them new players, we finished in 12th, so not much of a build-up. 8 games defeated all season, though, and a positive goal difference is something to be positive about. We got a semi-final as well in the FA Cup, losing to Manchester United. However, them being thrashed by the rival City in the final. Our team's ratings being pretty decent. A Pasalic, who we had to play in the midfield, just because it was his best position, and to be fair, an attacking midfield's not a bad thing. He's got an injury still lasting him 7 weeks, but I want to see the top goal scorer in this. Sulemana carrying in Orsic's absence. Baumgartner and El-Nesyri got 9 in 18, so scoring every other game for the new signings, not bad. The Moroccan wonder kid, who I hoped I would have got on camera. Definitely a shining star to go into season number 3 with. And season number 2 wasn't the cleanest of seasons, so we're going to try and make some good signings this year. We're going to try and get it flowing, and we're going to build up Southampton. Elgato got his Croatian call-up, and he's still at the World Cup, which is good stuff. Same with Bazunu. Vasilik still got his crucial injury, but the bench, the first team, everything looks absolutely perfect for the Saints. 57 million in the bank as well from the board. Really does help us kick on. And Nuno is expected a semi-final plus a Europa League spot for the second season. We've got to sign young players and develop this academy. And we lost one player on a pre-contract, which is disappointing. Ibrahima Diallo has decided to join the Geordies. And we begin by replacing Diallo immediately with a quality CDM. He's Brazilian. He's playing with Nuno next season. Taking the Saints for a reason. It's Sousa. If I get copyrighted for that, I'm going to be disappointed because it was a terrible song, but Vinicius Sousa does join from Freiburg. It's not going to fit into the team just yet because he needs to change to a central midfielder, but this team is honestly brilliant for 3 seasons in. But this board is hurting us. They've sold Mohamed Salisu to Dortmund for 36 million, but we turn to the academy to look for kind of a replacement. I mean, we've got some good players. Gabriel Fletcher, and we've got Isako Harris the Greek, still Lance Coleman waiting in the ranks. And Yannick Bednarek's gone, so we're light on defenders here. Wolves for 10 million. But I guess you could say that's Bella Kotchap's chance in disguise. And say Guimaraes, a good striker that I do want to get playing for the club. We'll spend a year at Forest though just to develop. We've got Armstrong as a backup, and we have managed to pull off another signing. I was scared with Salisu leaving, so we've got another centre-half. Morato comes across from Ajax. He's a Brazilian defender, a tall one, and we've paid 21 million for his services. Quite similar to Lianco, but I definitely think he's a better backup for this first half of the season. Oh, but halfway through, how are we in the bottom half of the table? Come on, Saints, we've got to pick this up. 7 points off Arsenal. Maybe in need of a signing. Problem is, the team looks very decent, but we've got 2 unhappy campers on the bench in Alcaraz and Aribo. If we're finishing 12th again next season, it's going to be very difficult to hold on to Mamardashvili. What a goalkeeper he's turning out to be. And our only signing that we're going to make, which changes our formation. Edson Alvarez comes across from Ajax, signing for just under 40 million to boost us up the table. We're going to play this with defensive midfielders. Whatever this is. Ward-Prowse is now a right-hand-sided player. Defense is a little bit weak, but it should hold on for next season. And it's safe to say that board ain't happy come end of the season. We've not reached the Europa League for the 2nd year in a row. However, we may have slipped into conference depending on how trophies have been won. Best of the rest as Liverpool win the FA Cup over Crystal Palace. And we lost to Everton. Carabao Cup won by Manchester City, who we were beaten 5-4 by in the semi-final. It's a shame the Carabao Cup doesn't play to the board's favour. Teams' ratings have gone up, but it's weirdly changed my team around. Ward-Prowse, you stay on that right-hand side for a bit longer, mate. Bella Kotchap, not the improvement I wanted. Same with Kaleta. Is it time for a new defender? Top scorer is El-Nesyri, as expected, with 25. Sulemana with 19 and 13 assists. Very nice. Willock with 14 goals as well. Who would have thought of that? Season number 4 is a scrap for the job, and getting the job done. They want a crucial forward. I think that changes my shape. Maybe this is completely stupid, but we're going for a narrow formation. Livramento and Moreno can get forward, while Prowse can now play central. Alvarez, Willock over Sousa, and Baumgartner in the team. Sulemana is up front. I'm training him to be a striker, but of course we need to sign another one. And guess what? We start by losing him 65 million to Juventus for Kamaluddin Sulemana. It's horrible, but the formation change should stick now, as we sign Beto to replace him a little bit, betraying Villa to come to the Saints. And we bring in our new greatest player, Hernandez. We've stolen him for 30 million. The centre-back, left-footed, can replace the struggling Kochap. Our team looks very capable this season, so if we don't do well, I can understand where the board would come from. Hernandez, Moreno, Aribo, Souza and Pasalic. We've got every position covered to a T. And the board are happy as we currently sit 8th in the table. We're still there and thereabout with a game in hand, but I don't like it. The team is progressing on and off the field, I guess, but the ratings could be better. I mean, Mamashvili, how he's still here, I will never know. And hold the phone, we were actually in the Conference League, and we won our group with ease. The preliminary round, however you say that, is going to be played, but I'm loving it. But again, the board are furious because we finished 6th in the league, 9 defeats, and only 4 points off Spurs. We win the FA Cup on penalties against Manchester City. What a run, and it's trophy number 1 for the Portuguese. Carabao Cup wasn't nice to us, however. Liverpool winning that, nowhere near. And in the Conference League, we were beaten by Mainz in the round of 16. That's not on. That is not on. They're a good team, but we shouldn't be losing. Espanyol won the tournament. I can understand the board not being happy. This group of lads shouldn't be in the Europa League and shouldn't lose out on that trophy. Next year, Champions League football is a must. Progression is key. El Nassiri is also key as well. Him and Beto got quite a few goals on Uachu as well. Baumgartner. But let's not overlook the 18 assists from JW. An interesting season for the Saints, building up to that Champions League, which I think we should be in next year. I don't think we'll compete the year after, but it'd be good to just get a gist in that competition and keep Nuno firmly in this job. And after the FA Cup win, it won't be enough for Nuno. He's got to build this team up to winning. Or not winning, but getting in the Champions League this year. Give the players a little bit more of a rest. They've just come in from pre-season and yeah, they're a bit tired still. We've got to sign one crucial forward player. How much money have we got? We have 69 million. And I tell you what, we've got to get this right because the money isn't too much. The players are running out of contract and Nuno is under pressure. As we begin with an outgoing, Lance Coleman did come through the academy and he's straight out on loan to Angers. And we have a player coming in. It's also, however, gone the other way with a player going out. Sean Leash is one who goes out on loan as well, but I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Vinicius Souza. He's gone to West Ham for 30 million plus innocent Kane. It's not Harry Kane, it's literally the innocent version, and I did sign him just for a joke really. However, he's only 19-year-old. Got a future ahead of him. And before anything else, we do have the Community Shield up first. We're putting the strongest team out, but we're still not stronger than City. And another big player does leave, another Brazilian in Morato. He's just come, and he's just on his way out. He went for cheap, but there is a backup straight away. Konstantinos Mavropanos, the ex-Arsenal man, coming across from City. And before our last signing of this window, we've got our Europa League group. Sporting Lisbon sneaking in there. As joining the club right there is Alejandro Grimaldo. Yes, he's 30-year-old, but a Spaniard to go with our other old left-back Spaniard. I'm Luke Shaw in the back line up here at Southampton, and Luke Shaw is an ex-player, of course, hence the pun, but that team should definitely be good enough to moonwalk into the Champions League. Oh, and it's worth mentioning, Julet Kaleta does leave the club. The Croatian has been signed by Ajax. And call the bloody season off. We are 13th. 13th! We were out in the third round. The first round we go into to Everton. And I guess we're hanging on to the Europa League because we did top the group with 0 defeats. But the big teams in that round afterwards. Look at that. Milan, Liverpool, Man United, Spurs, Monaco. That might be our best shot at getting into the Champions League. As one loss in this window to a rival is Adam Armstrong being a traitor. As we lose another striker in Sekou Mara back to France. With Onachu, the absolute big man, leaving for 12 mil. And we've let Lianco go to Lorient. on a free transfer. And Roman Perot does go to Real Sociedad. All that adds up to the money that we've signed and used, of course, for our new number 9. It's Goncalo Ramos from Leipzig, 81 million. Southampton breaking the bank. Him and El Nusiri, if they don't do some damage in the Europa League or the Prem, there's something wrong. And Nuno might have to go. He's literally signed a Portuguese player. Nuno Espirito Santo has signed a Portuguese player. It has to go right. I could play him and Beto for the 2 Portugueses, but no. Him and El Nusiri. And as you can see here, we've got Hoffenheim in the Europa League. Can we get past them? You bet we can. Leading to Nice, and you can see a neutral game against Bristol City. Still, a cup won't do it. It is all about winning the Europa League Cup or nothing as Nice. We're past. On to Leipzig. Can Ramos beat his old club here? We've got a 2-1 win in the first leg. It was Baumgartner and Willock, as we've done that as well. Back to Sporting Lisbon, who we've already played in the group stages. We'll get on to the final in a second, as we were beaten in the FA Cup final by 1 goal to Liverpool. And the Premier League was still terrible. We didn't even finish top 8. We finished 9th. Putting up a good chase, but not there within 5 seasons. Or will we? Because it's a huge game against Sporting Lisbon, which we win 4-2. Goncalo Ramos scoring against his old rivals. And that's a beautiful result for Tau. Just with 2 consolations. The Saints have a run to the Champions League. It's not done in, of course, the competition we wanted it to do. Haven't done it in the Prem, but domestic and continental that we've been in, pretty successful. Oh, and you've already caught me shopping. It's season number 6. 95 million is what the board have given us. To be fair, this team's been more generous than Hollywood owners Wrexham when we were in the Champions League. And for once, we actually don't have to care about the Premier League. I mean, saying that, I'd love to be in the Champions League again next season, as we could get another trophy in the bank and got the Super Cup, which is won 3-0 against Milan. A result that should entice anyone to the club, including the man that we have signed right here to shore the defence up. It's the big man, Gabriel. We have got a Brazilian back in the ranks, and he is one that we desperately needed. That's another player for at the back. He is a left footer, which is a shame, but he's going to play at the right hand side. Don't care about all that hijinks. And the Champions League group, I don't think is too bad. Zagreb, Nice, Napoli. Napoli probably the biggest tester of them all. Looking forward to it with that squad. Let's go into it. Ooh. Not hopeful after the first 2 Premier League games. And the Premier League, it's not good. Just gambling on that Champions League being a lot better. We've gone out in the group stages. We missed out to Napoli by a point. It's Europa League football and fighting for the Champions League again. We don't have enough money to make a big signing, so again, it's a huge letdown of a season. Come end of the season, we have a Europa League final against Paris Saint-Germain. As in the Premier League, again, we have to go through the Europa to get champions because we are 7th. Horrific from us, as we did win the FA Cup again. That is number 2. Can we make it 2 Europa Leagues, though? And 2 FA Cups. Can we do it against Mbappe's men? We do! We've done it! We have beaten PSG. Mbappe got a goal, but Goncalo Ramos, Baumgartner and Bella Kotchap, that may be as big as, I'm going to say the Champions League then, but that is huge. Our 2nd Europa League and FA Cup in 1 season, beating Paris Saint-Germain. That should keep Nuno in his job for a little bit longer. Champions League football at St Mary's again. No doubt it'll be hard next season, as Ramos got 31 goals. Baumgartner and El Nusiri brilliant as well, and James Ward-Prowse still among the assists. It'll be a challenge to win it this year. A real big challenge. They want profit in the window. They want Champions League winning from the board. A bit of a weird aim, as we've got 108 million granted to us. You might have seen in there as well. We switched the formation up. What a tactical change that is from Nuno Espirito Santo. What a change. As I've just seen, Coleman back off loan with a bang. I definitely believe the board though when they say they wanted a defensive position in. They said through the academy, I think we signed one. And it didn't show up anywhere else, so I'm having to show you it here. We have lost Gabriel, moving to Roma. And Beto also leaves to go to Inter Milan. 206 million in the bank account. I've got to spend it. And we needed a central defender to replace Gabriel. You know who that is. Welcome to Southampton, Ibrahima Konate. And 2 more backup players reporting for duty. The first one, Arnaud Danjuma, from the bench. He still cost 30 million. And he has betrayed Brighton, Pervis Estupinian, the left back. Squad looks a lot better. Even the bench fully overrated apart from Bazunu. Feel really bad. Just wasted his career on that bench. Still, he could step up if he's needed. That squad for me, perfection. Ward-Prowse still in there as this is the Community Shield and we lose it to Tottenham. Goldier, a signing that we tried to make, has scored against us. 45 million. I'll save for January. How will we do? And I don't even know his Champions League group yet. To be fair, I forgot all about the Super Cup. Our team's very tight in pre-season, a huge pre-season, and we've lost that as well. As our Champions League group will be Borussia Dortmund, Stade de Reims, and Malmo. Group B we start off with Dortmund, but how will we do in this year's competition? I mean, got to make it out of the group stages. And halfway through the season, the Premier League, we cannot get the Premier League correct at all. The FA Cup, we're into round 3, of course. We have Leicester City as the Carabao, a semi-final with Fleetwood as well. They're still in it as well. We've got Blackburn and Fulham. I think we should win the tournament. It would be nice to get a League Cup, but it's all about the Champions League. We're through, and we have Valencia, which I think is a perfect draw for ourselves. We topped the group with 0 defeats. Are our team twigged on? I bloody hope they are. Them ratings are perfect so far, but we've got to keep on going. No finishing. No finishing. And guess what? No signing. Straight into a draw against Valencia. Castellanos is the man to peg us back. But we've had a huge L because Lucas Hernandez has picked up a knock before this. He will be out for this Valencia game. Bella Kotchap needs a good game, and he does have one. A goal conceded. Goncalvo Ramos, Alvarez, and Baumgartner see us through to the quarterfinals. Can't wait to see who we face next, and we will have a fresh Hernandez on that bench. Or probably not on the bench. He'll be starting the game. Sorry, Bella. And guess what? We have Dortmund next, and I've simmed past the first leg. Ka-ching. I'm going to sim them both because they should be straightforward. There we go. We beat them twice in the group stage. I was just thinking we'll be able to do it again. Saw the defeat to Liverpool, though, but still, we're third in a 2-horse race, really, in the Premier League. But hey, Champions League football for next year. I say that because I still don't have faith that we'll win it. And a player on his bench, Coleman, is now asking to play. Will the youngster play a big part in our Champions League push? I've simmed forward the team we will face in the semi-finals. It's Milan at the San Siro. Come on, Saints. Come on, Saints. Come on, Saints. Come on, Saints. Come on. Ooh, a draw. Sinistera. El Nusiri on Goncalvo, though. And I actually never noticed that Bella Kotchap is still in the starting lineup. So, sorry, mate. You've got to drop out. Hernandez takes centre stage. And let's go into this with 2 90-rated strikers. Oh! A 6-5 aggregate win. 4-3 on the night. El Nusiri with the decisive goal. Rodrigo thought he'd done something. Oh, but Baumgartner and James Ward-Prowse scores for Southampton, his boyhood club, in a Champions League semi-final. Straight into the final against Bayern Leverkusen. I mean, that's not a bad team. I hope I don't do this. Bottle it. And we will have Champions League football secure if we fail to win it this year, as the FA Cup went to Liverpool. Unfortunately, nowhere near. And Fleetwood actually beat us on penalties over 2 legs. Embarrassing, really. Blackburn Rovers beating him in the final. What a final for the League Cup. I don't care about any other competitions apart from looking at that graphic all day, every day. Only 2029 as well. I say only, of course, that is really late on. What a bunch of players. Look at Ward-Prowse, though. Look at him, 34-year-old, 16 goals, 15 assists, and he's played most games. Very excited to see how the squad do, because it's time for the Champions League final. Here we are. I don't know what stadium this is. Is it Sevilla? I might be completely off, but it doesn't matter where we are. We've got some first season players like Mama Davilli. However you say our goalkeeper's name, he's been here from the start. Livramento actually has. Ward-Prowse has as well. Joel Aribo's on that bench. Alvarez is on the bench as well. Yes, we've made a lot of signings, especially in the forward options, but this team should do the business. There's Mateo Kovacic with the ball forward into Elmas. That's a good tackle from, of course, Hernandez. Missed most of our build-up campaign for this tournament. El Nusiri, that's a terrible ball. If we could have a Champions League final like one of our previous saves we did, the 9-0 for Wrexham, it would be great. That's a ball over the top into El Nusiri, Ederson. We did, of course, sign Kanate from these as well, worth mentioning. If we could find him from a corner. Oh, but we've actually had an injury in this team. Mavropanos, right. It's Bella Kotchap. Another Originals chance for some redemption. It'll be so good to see him do well, as here is Livramento on the ball. He's just got a bit of space. Can he get someone in the middle? Here he is. That's a ball over the top. That's a header down. Baumgartner, one of his first signings as well. The Austrian in the red and white of Southampton. Saints take the lead. Typing these up before we actually play them in the FA Cup is painful as a Grimsby fan, but what a ball over the top. And what a header down for one. Southampton a goal, as this is another run for El Nusiri. Oh, we couldn't slow down. So close, as here's Goncalo Ramos. So look at the space. Goncalo Ramos has crossed that early doors. There we go. What a ball. He's two. He's two within 20 minutes. It's Yusuf El Nusiri, a main man who we missed actually signing. But what a player. Get in. 2-0. Doing everything to keep Leverkusen out. However, a shot coming in. Mamashvili with a smother. And they're the only team pushing for the next goal. Elmas, we're stepping off a bit. Stepping off. And Kovacic with this run down the line. Ward-Prowse doing Ward-Prowse things. Don't like the pressure that we've been put under. Baumgartner putting the pressure on them. Look at that. Look at that for 2 tackles. We're struggling to get a bit of a gap now. Lund on the ball. Bella Kotchap. What a welcome, but he's injured a player. The domino effect in full swing. He was the one who came on because of an injury, as I might as well stop here because we could have a third. What a half from the Saints, but the game is not over. Oh my days. Let's get this trophy wrapped up for JWP, as Baumgartner's going to start this half off as well, and here he is having a bit of a run. There's no real switch to anywhere. We'll go into Grimaldo. Grimaldo, that's an enticing one. Still a tackle from El Nusiri, and it falls to JWP. That should have been his Champions League final goal, as he's got it on the edge of the box again. JWP, it falls to him on a volley. It might fall to him again. Looks as if he's got his shoelaces tied together as well. Don't you think, when he runs and when he shoots, it looks like they're tied together, as that should have been a goal. The work rate on that man, as this is a run from Goncalo Ramos. He'll try and switch it in. It just falls to him again. Ward-Prowse is onside of James Ward-Prowse has a Champions League final goal. Oh, what a story for this man. The captain, the leader, the Saints legend. It was just at the back post. The striker turns provider. It's the roles reversed under Edison. 3-0 Saints. Still on the hunt for more, as I think we've thrown a bad tackle in. Oh dear, was that Alvarez? Oh, it is, and he's got sent off. It's his second yellow card. What a shame. The Mexican's been such a big part to our squad, and to lose him is a shame. I'm just really hoping it's not that costly, as Grupa is no Ward-Prowse. It's a Ward-Prowse kind of finale, ain't it? A Stupinian with a tackle straight onto El Nusiri. Try and play that through. That's an off-the-ground pass. That's Baumgartner again. Baumgartner, this to wrap up the final. El Nusiri's missed. That's into Danjuma. That's a back heel. That's another pass. This is Ward-Prowse again. That's a save. Think we might have won this, you know. Ward-Prowse with a ball whipped in. And oh, Danjuma. Another chance, though, if Danjuma can find JWP. Does. What a drill ball. That's falling to Bella Kotchap. Toying with Bayer, really, as I've just realised it is Bayer. If I've been saying Bayern all along, I really do apologise. I've got a knack for that, as Ward-Prowse has a knack for another goal. A terrible ball flung into the box. They really wish they had Ward-Prowse, as that is the whistle. Southampton have done it at the second time of asking. It's been tricky, and it's come with trophies along the way. 2 FA Cups, 2 Europa Leagues. Nuno Espirito Santo has won the Champions League with Southampton. Oh, nice must them ribbons look. I can't see them now, but... well, Prowse will in a minute. Here he is, covered in the grass stains. He's got nitty and gritty with them tackles. As here he is, James, with the trophy down low next to Mamashvili. There we go, Southampton, champions of Club World Football. The biggest trophy of them all. And I've got to pick some special players. Yes, I've gone out the menu, but we will get it done. We'll stay on this that says winners. Screw it. As the 3 players of this series for me, first one's going to be James Ward-Prowse. He's not going as our main player, but he's been absolutely amazing, and that final was his brilliant farewell. The second player I will mention is El Nusiri. Brilliant. Just beats Mamashvili in this list because he's been our goal scorer and goals threat. But the main man of this series for me is Baumgartner. The growth in this guy has been insanity. For a player that I thought I was going to sign and let go of straight away, like Curtis Jones, he's been sensational. There's proof in the rating right there. 90 at 29-year-old, 7.16 all season. Amazing player. As if you do want to see more of these rebuilds, do let me know down below. I've got another one cooking with a person you might associate with the Saints, but a different Premier League team a little bit more. Stay tuned for that if it does come out in the future.